welcome back to the Wild West Crypto Show. As you can tell, we're kind of traveling, getting ready for Christmas week. And kind of a couple of interesting things happened. And I asked Bo, I hate to interrupt your pre-Christmas where we celebrate the birth of Christ and everything. But a couple of things happened because we had you on last week. And then if you watch what happened with the markets and the way that you do is, and as you admit, you don't really watch the news, that there were two monumental events, okay, that affect what happens. It's like if I'm going to take a trip to Houston, I can calculate the time and the gas that I take, but I have no way of knowing if there's a wreck there and it may slow me down or gas or, run out of gas or whatever. So two things that happen is Saturday, the Feds announced that they're going to be dumping $500 billion to $1 trillion to support the repo market between Saturday and the end of the year. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's 4 times the amount of the entire crypto market, right? Other thing that happened is a bunch of scammers out of China, they started dumping all their Bitcoin, $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, they dump on the market. And when you look at supply and demand, and since you don't want to watch the news, I wanted to bring you back on and say, hey, let me tell you something. These things, everything that you pontificated is happening, but all of a sudden you throw these big wrenches into it that there's no way you could even anticipate.
If you're saying like they're going to $1 trillion, right? So why are they doing that? Like, why would you need to create $1 trillion unless you deep down know something's going wrong, something's not right? So first off, the big question is, why is that happening? The chart patterns that I look at, we're supposed to see a big dump before Christmas, but all I see is the markets keep melting upwards. They're not melting down. They're melting just, 50, 30, 20, 100 points. They keep melting upwards. There's biblically something supposed to happen between today, Friday the 20th, and into Christmas, so maybe within 5 days, we might see something epic. Will it happen? God knows, okay? But I do tell you, we're supposed to see something epic go down, and then the markets are then supposed to have maybe a little reaction to the upside, and then another massive dive in January. If they're announcing the creation of $1 trillion, the best question is to say, why are they doing it? Why are they announcing it? Why is it happening? So that's a great question, considering the cycles are pointing to a massive event very soon or imminently. Okay, so I'd be really concerned about that from the stock market perspective. But again, I'm not in the stock market. I could care less about the stock markets, but it all ties together because when one tanks, what has to happen is the energy, those monies, that's what energy is. It's money. It has to go somewhere. Right? And so the other thing that you were talking about just now is the how many Bitcoin was there?
$2 billion worth of Bitcoin they dumped on the market. Scammers, they're wanting to fire sale it and get out so they can't be traced.
Interesting. And then so this is where cycles come into play, like you're saying. So go back 2 years. Do you know the actual day that Bitcoin topped in 2017?
I thought it was the 17th.
Yes, it was December 17th. But you're right, it's 100% right. Bitcoin topped at $19,666 on December 17th of 2017. And so notice this dump occurred on December 17th of 2019, 2 years later. Coincidence? The cycle also, if you go back to last year, when we call the exact bottom on Bitcoin, that bottom occurred on December 15th at $3,122, give or take 24 to 48 hours. The first day up was the 17th of December. So interesting turn of the tides right there, okay? I did an interview yesterday actually with Bitcoin Ben, and I think those of your viewers who haven't seen it really need to go watch that video because I really outlined the cycle. I have a private cycle for my subscribers, and I actually included a piece of that cycle in that Bitcoin Ben interview. This is the chart here. But in a nutshell, what it shows is that from that top in December of 2017, 192 trading days to the exact date took us to June 26th, 27th, and then that was a low for Bitcoin. Bitcoin then continued to go sideways for 172 days into a final low of December of 2018. The point is those two cycles, if you repeat those two cycles forward, it takes you to June 26, 27 for a high at 20 last year to the exact day. Yeah. Not almost, but to the exact day. That's why I don't care about watching the news because cycles are already written forward. Like I said in the Bitcoin Ben interview, if people think that life is random, you have no clue. You seriously have no clue. the fact that these events happen, they can be calculated. There's no randomness to anything in life. God has written everything into the future. God knows what's happening because basically God's in control.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there was a turn that just happened for Bitcoin right on the point that you talked about, the $2 billion on the 17th. So that should be the turn point for Bitcoin this past, just a couple days, it was 3 days ago, 17th into the 18th. That should be the turn. It was at 6,500 and change, right in that $6,500 range for Bitcoin. So from this point forward, we should see Bitcoin turning and heading upwards. Right now, it's the last I checked, it's around $7,200.
Right.
So it's turning upwards, and then we're just waiting for a powerful jump to the upside. So that's what we're waiting for next, and we still haven't seen it yet. But we have already had low. We've had now having the upwards progression, and now we're going to see a jump, and then that's going to be tied in, I believe, directly with everything that's been held down. Well, besides the cryptocurrencies, what else has been held down?
Oh, no.
Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should see that move as well with the cryptocurrencies between now and into January. So at this point in time, I can just tell you we're supposed to see a very powerful move very soon. We're supposed to see a very epic move very soon. In everything, epic move in the equity markets, potentially to the downside. That epic move is going to cause an epic move to the upside for gold, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, silver particularly. We should start seeing a move in that direction. So everything's about to shift. It's called a changing of the scales. Biblically, the third seal of Revelation is basically the scales tipping. So right now, all the weight is on paper, paper monetary system, and we're supposed to see the paper begin to burn and the scales tip in the favor of gold, silver, and cryptocurrency started to take the weight. And remember, creation was 6 days. So to think that God can't pull something off in a day or two, don't count God out on pulling something crazy, something epic, not crazy, but epic. When it happens, it's just like the return of God, of Jesus. No one knows the particular day or the hour, but you can calculate the year. The point is that things are coming, and I believe they're going to be very, very soon here. So I don't know what to tell you, except I'm very, very happy that I'm positioned in cryptocurrencies and silver and some gold. Being prepared is critical and key. And I think what you're doing is extremely important to get the word out.
Sure, absolutely. Bo, let me tell you something. Have a Merry Christmas. Give your wife a big hug for us. Let's get back in touch right after the first of the year.
Absolutely, Drew. I wish you all the best. Have a truly fantastic Christmas with you and your family. So God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Folks, Lawless Crypto Show. We'll see you back here in 2 minutes.